Hi, I'm Brad from Brad's Vintage Collection. Today I'm going to share my opinions on a couple of hot topics for the hobby. I'm going to pick 4 topics and I'm going to try to keep it to about 5 minutes. First topic is SGC. Do I think SGC is going by the wayside? I do. I really do think PSA is going to retire the SGC brand. Do I care that much? Not really. The biggest 2 cards I bought at the National were in SGC holders. I'm going to continue buying cards in SGC holders. If SGC goes by the wayside in the near term, I'll buy cards in SGC holders. But I think over time, you'll see less and less cards in SGC holders. 10 years after SGC goes away, I think in order to sell a card, you might have to cross it. Kind of like GAI today. If a card's in a GAI holder today, people think, well, there's got to be something wrong or they would have crossed it. So eventually SGC will get like that. Will I cross my cards? No. I have almost 200 cards in SGC holders. By the time they go away, it'll be even more. And paying to cross those would cost me the cost of a really awesome card that I'd rather have in my collection than pay money to get the same card in different plastics. So here's a couple. I just pulled a random box and 2 random cards that are SGC. So here's 2 of my 57s in SGC holders. Would I pay 20 bucks a piece to have this same card in a PSA holder? No. I still would have these same 2 beautiful cards, and that would be $40 less that I could pay to add cards I need for my hobby. So yes, SGC will go away, but I think the consternation over it is way overblown. My next opinion is on old labels versus new labels, and Mike Baseball Collector did a good video on that this week. Yes, PSA has gotten stricter in grading. There's no doubt about it. The cards graded now are stricter than they were in any generation of PSA slabs. However, in every slab, there's nice cards and there's low cards for the grade. If you go way back, it's before they even had half grades, and there was big controversy. Oh my gosh, I gotta get all my cards regraded because all of them would be 7.5s instead of 7s, and everyone was really mad at PSA for adding half grades. It's kind of same thing now. I have 500 and some PSA slabs. I just picked a random card. I probably have 6 or 7 cards from the first generation PSA holder. Hopefully this is focusing so you can see it. So this is as old as it comes in PSA. Do I like the card any less because the number grade might be different today? No. It's a centered version of the Williams All-Star, which I love. His hat has no snow, which is hard to find, and it's really bright color. This card I'd buy today. If it's a 7, I'd buy it today. If it's an 8, I'd buy it today. If it's a 6, I'd buy it today. So it's a card I'm happy to have in my collection, and I couldn't care less that maybe it wouldn't have the same number today as it did then. And I bought this card so long ago that I'm sure even if it graded a 6, I'm still ahead. So yes, PSA is stricter, but should it really affect the way you collect? Not really. Buy the nice cards, and it doesn't really matter what holder that they're in. Next thing I want to talk about is rare cards versus a card I can get anytime. It's a card I can get anytime. Why would I buy it? I can get this. There's going to be 100 of these at the National. There's 100 of them on eBay. You get it because it fits into your collecting goals. As a kid in 1985, my parents got me this, my brother and I, the Topps book. And probably most of you don't know what this is, but this book has a photo, I can try to get a page, of every Topps card produced from 1951 to 1985. And this book really formed how I collect. My brother and I would lay on the floor, look through the book, make our want lists, and I have pretty much every image of every Topps Hall of Famer burned into my head from looking through that book so many times as a kid. This was pre-internet, so there were no pictures of cards you could get. The only way you could see pictures of cards was going to the show and seeing the real card, or subscribing to magazines like Baseball Cards Magazine and being at the mercy of what they showed. So being able to see every Topps card in a color photo was game-changing for me. These are the cards that I want. These are the cards that I love. I'm trying to get the Topps run of Hall of Famers in the 50s and 60s. And so, yeah, here's 2 examples. Same box I just pulled the Williams out of 2 of my 57s. Could I get the Campanella or the Koufax at any show I wanted, at eBay at any time, on any auction? Of course I could. They're plentiful. But these are my copies, and I chose them among all the copies that are out there. and I enjoy owning them. I enjoy looking at them. Yeah, maybe you want to get the Campanella Wilson Franks or the Koufax 67 Venezuelan. Beautiful cards, tough cards, rare cards, but you got to enjoy owning cards too, not just dreaming about cards. So just because you can get it any day of the week doesn't mean that you shouldn't pick up those cards. They're big parts of your collection, and there's things that you can enjoy pulling out and looking at all the time. Next topic I have is kind of a personal opinion, and I'm not really passionate about this one, but if your cards are raw, keep them raw. Why give PSA money? So here's an example of 4 raw cards I have that were bought, some of them pre-grading. I should probably hold them right side up, right? So if I got these 4 cards graded from PSA, I'd probably spend, what, $80 in grading fees? These 4 cards would come back with a number on it, with an opinion from one person that says what grade these cards are, but they've already been evaluated by the most important opinion, that's mine. When I decided to buy these cards, I guarantee I looked at them longer than PSA is looking at these cards if I send them in. They have seconds to look at a card, evaluate, and put a number on it. I already have my opinion. I know what's wrong with these cards. I know why I bought them. I know what's great about these cards. I know why they fit into my collection. And that's $80 I could spend toward another card I don't have. So I've made 2 submissions to PSA. Both times were cards that I was going to sell. They were cards that I upgraded from my raw collection, or they were cards from 70s sets that I have where they weren't the best version of that card, and I got them graded to sell it to try to put some money into cards I don't have. So yes, if you're going to sell a card, by all means, it's probably worth grading. But if you're keeping it, think about what you could buy with those grading fees and if it's really worth sending it in. So those were 4 topics. I'm 2 minutes over my goal, but hope you enjoyed this video of my thoughts. And remember, if you're not excited to add the card to your collection, then you bought the wrong card. Thanks for watching.